Hey Will, hope you're doing great. So today I'm just going to run you through the verse and the chorus of Hotel California by the Eagles. I definitely heard this one, I bet. Really great song, really good practice to get your bar chords going. It's got a couple different bar chords in there, and a new one that we haven't done before in our lesson, but it's very similar to B minor, which we did do. So you should be fine with it. So I'm just going to quickly show you which one it is. So it's F sharp major. So F sharp major has the root on the 2nd fret on the E string over there. Sounds like that. So there. So the way you play this one is exactly the same as B minor. So B minor, you start on the B, which is the 2nd fret on the A string. Put your 3rd finger on the 4th fret D string, and then so 3rd finger, and then 4th finger on the 4th fret on the G string, and then your 2nd finger is going to go on the 3rd fret B string, and then that one is being barred by your 1st finger. So back a bit, there you go, like that. Trying to get a good camera angle. Yep. So that's B minor. But when you play a bar chord with that kind of shape off the low E string, it's a major chord. Because here it means that you've got that there. That's a major 3rd. It's actually a 10th, but that's a major 3rd. And there. So the notes we got in that. So it's the same shape, but now you're barring these 2 strings here. So I'll quickly tell you. So you got F sharp here on the 2nd fret on the low E. And with your 3rd finger you play 4th fret on the A. With your 4th finger you play the 4th fret on the D. And then with your 2nd finger you play the 3rd fret on the G string over there. So you can hear that sounds like a major chord. So if you wanted to turn that, for example, into a minor bar chord off the high E, the low E, then all you have to do is take away that second finger and bar that note as well, like that. And already sounds minor because that's a minor triad. So all you have to do then is, so that's without this middle finger. It's definitely minor. Yep, it's a minor chord. But then if you add that note instead of that one, it's a major chord. So what this song does, it's using an F sharp major instead of F sharp minor. So it's in the key of D, which is really handy. You can check your notes that we wrote last lesson. And it should say there that F sharp minor is a minor chord. So it's the 3rd chord in D major. Normally it's a minor, but in this song they're using it as a major chord, which sounds really interesting when you put it across the other chords, and just gives it that different feel to it. So for the verse, what they're playing is they're kind of picking through it. So they're using a different pattern. So I'm not exactly gonna teach you how to play the exact pattern like they're doing it, because I think it would be a bit too complicated. And I'd rather have you focus on the chord shapes and everything first, and getting really comfortable with your bar chords before we attempt anything like that. So the chords for that I've also put in the email, so I just put a link in there. You can click on that, and on the website it says that it's an F sharp major 7, but we're going to just play without the 7th extension in there, because it would further complicate things a bit. So if you wanted to play F sharp major 7, all you do is you also play this note, which you're barring. So it goes from F sharp, which is there, to that note there. That's a major 7. Sounds a bit dissonant, right? Yep, so the way you play that is you play it the same as F sharp major 7 like that, but you're moving your pinky finger and you're barring it with your 1st finger. So that's 4 notes that you're barring with it, which is why it's a bit more complicated. But for now, like if you're just playing along with it, it'll be fine just playing a regular F sharp major, just because it sounds interesting. It's not interesting enough as it is. As a non-diatonic chord, which is a chord that's not in the regular diatonic series. So for the verse, what you're going to play, it's going to go B minor. From that, so you're just going to do one strum like that, which is in the intro actually. In the verse, you can do more of a strumming, which is kind of following the vocal pattern. So it's like down, down, up, down, up, down. Like that. So you can give it a little bit of a break. So we're going to start on B minor. Like that. And you give it that little down, up at the end there. So then it changes to the F sharp major over there. Like that. So that's B minor to F sharp major. Then it's going to go to A major. So that's the one where we stack 3 of our fingers. So with that one, just make sure that all your fingers are very tightly together. That way you're not going to block any of the notes from ringing out. There you go, A major. And then after A major goes to E. So the whole thing is with the same strumming pattern, except you're obviously altering the chords. So there's different variations in this, how it's going. So each of these chords go for 1 bar. So all you have to do is just count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. 3, 4. Like that. So after A, it's going to go to E major over there, which is also a non-diatonic chord, actually. So yeah, there you go. So we got back to A. That's at E, just like that. And then that's the first section of the verse, and then it's going to go into a similar sounding chord progression, but it's a different progression. So then we got G, followed by D, and E minor, all of which you've done plenty of times before in Fuse Drum Theory we've studied before. And then after E minor, it goes back up to F sharp major. And then that whole chord progression repeats. So again, if you just want to have a look at those chords, just click on the link. It'll be easier. Otherwise, just scroll back in the video and then you can find it again. So in total, how it should sound, I'll call out the chords as well. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4. F sharp major, going to A major, going to E major, going to G major, going to D major, going to E minor, F sharp major again, just like that. So very easy when you get the hang of those bar chords, because there's 2 of them there. So just keep practicing that, keep remembering those little tips that we worked on. So you got your thumb in the back of the neck on the correct position, you're arching your fingers, and just keep practicing it, and then you should be able to get it within no time. But you have to put in the time, otherwise it's not going to work, but you should be fine. So for the chorus, it's very similar chord progression and strumming pattern as well. So the chorus, it starts on a G, which leads really nicely coming from an F sharp major, because that's under G, which is there. So it's just a semitone under. So in total, it's going to feel like coming out of the verse, last chord. Like that. So it sounds kind of interesting rather than going from a minor chord. Like that. So then for the chorus, what you're going to do is you're going to play G major, so which you can play as a bar chord as well, by the way. Either way is correct. You can play it like this, just to make it easier for yourself, coming out of F sharp. Yep. So up to you. So after G, it goes to D. So all of these are 1 bar as well, by the way. So you got G. Like that. And then the strumming pattern for this is like down, that. So after D, it's going to go to F sharp major again, and then to B minor. And then it's going to go back to G, and then to D, and then E minor, and then F sharp major again. So the total thing is going to sound like this. Minor, F sharp major, like that, and then it's going to go back to the verse. And that's all the chords that are actually in the song, so it's very straightforward. If there's any different changes that I haven't mentioned, just have a look at the chord website and that should be able to say it. So the biggest thing for you to practice with this song is just getting familiar with that B minor and F sharp major, or G major, or A major. You can put it anywhere you like. It's just about that you actually just getting used to holding that bar chord, because it takes a bit of finger strength. But you should be fine. You already made so much progress in our last lesson. I think you'll be easily able to play this chord comfortably within no time, should you just practice it every day. Even like 10 minutes, just noodling around your guitar. 20, but obviously you want to practice more than 10 minutes. But just as a very bare minimum, I think, yeah, it's like 10-20 minutes a day. Try to get at least 30 in, between 30 and an hour if possible, just so that you can actually develop that muscle memory, which is going to make it so much easier. And once you get comfortable with it, it's not that hard to redo it and keep going with it. Anyway, you're going to be great.